Okay, American history class, this is it. We are done. You're going to take the semester test and you are out of here. So this is a farewell message. Um, as far as the history goes, I of course hope you learned a lot, but really what this class covers is just the basics. You're honestly going to be learning about history for the rest of your life. This past couple years, I read the book that many of you may be familiar with. It was really unusual in that it was a nonfiction historical book that really went viral and people really loved it, and that's Killers of the Flower Moon. It told the story of Native Americans, the Osage tribe that had come into so much oil wealth, and then all of a sudden people start showing up and they start being murdered. Osage people start being murdered. By white people who come trying to get their money and do get their money oftentimes and exploit them, and then nothing was done about it until the FBI came and investigated in the 1920s. Of course, that became the subject of the movie by Martin Scorsese. So my point is that when a movie like that comes out, for example, and a whole bunch of people go to watch it, I'm hoping that you have a better awareness then of what's going on at that time frame. And it's the interwar period between World War I and World War II. You understand the background by Native Americans, and of course the mistreatment and the attempted and disastrous policy of assimilation and so forth. And so you just have a much better understanding. Same thing last summer with Oppenheimer. That was a really big movie that was really popular. And by having studied World War II, you have a better understanding of it. And you'll be learning about history for the rest of your life, whether you know it or not. And having a good understanding of history is fundamental for being a good citizen, because you need to understand this history or you don't understand the present, because our past shapes our present. William Faulkner had said something to the effect that that history is not even in the past, it's today, and it definitely is. Hopefully, also the most important thing too that I can stress to you, as you learn history and you learn about events going on and how they're shaped by the past, the most important thing I can stress for you is where you get your information from, because so many people get information from false sources and they live in a completely alternative reality that is not based in fact. Never has this been more clear than after the events of January 6, 2021. And at least a third of all Americans still believe, for example, that the election was stolen. And that simply is not true. And they're firmly committed to that's the truth, that is what happened. And that's frightening. Because together we make these collective decisions about our democracy, and if you're making decisions about our democracy based on things that are not true, then we're in for some trouble. That's why a good education is so important, because the better educated you are, the less likely you are to buy into these conspiracies and to believe in these things that just are not true. And that's why I feel my job is so crucial and so important in educating people, so that we can collectively make good decisions as a country, that also learn from the mistakes of the past, for sure, because we certainly are capable and do continue to often make mistakes again. That's it for this class. You've got a test and 50 questions. I think I've given you 2 hours. You're welcome to use your textbook on that. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to email me. I wish you the best in all your future endeavors, your education and your plans, and would welcome you back in another one of my classes. I still kind of miss the traditional classes. I taught traditional classes out at Carl Albert. When I first started teaching Carl Albert in 2001, That's all I did. Is I went out there 2 nights a week for 3 hours and taught. And I did that for about 10 years, and then we shifted, and then I taught some in-person class and some online, and now it's almost all online. And so this is my only chance to get to speak to people, but such is the way of the world. So best of luck, and maybe we'll see you down the road somewhere. Thanks.